We received a brand new SMG in Cold War, and it is called the UGR. It's supposed to be an underwater rifle. I don't know what it is in real life, but there's one word to describe it, and that is fun. I had so much fun using such a unique weapon in Call of Duty, and I wish they did more of this throughout the franchise. There's only a couple weapons I can think of off the top of my head that stand out as unique. That's, of course, the UGR, the nail gun, the disc shooter, ballistic knives, crossbows, and that pretty much wraps it up, but it's nice to see something new and refreshing in the game. It's also extremely easy to unlock, especially if you've completed the super Easter egg in Cold War Zombies. All you need is 1,000 eliminations with a purple tier or higher gun, and in case of the super Easter egg, you'll already have purple tier on every single gun in the game when you spawn in. So just select an SMG, and if you haven't completed it yet, go on to Firebase C, open up the map, and then pick up the purple rarity Bullfrog Walleye, which is always purple by the time you get to it, which is fantastic. You can slam through, unlock challenges extremely fast. I'd stay away from multiplayer. Not that the challenge is hard, I just don't want to sit through 15 separate multiplayer games, especially because you can't leave and have the progress track. But overall, this gun's fantastic too. Not only is it fun, but it's extremely good. I managed to pull off a nuke on Armada, which poetically enough, I got a bunch of kills underwater, and I barely just squeaked out the nuke. Like last 20 points of the game is when I pulled it off. Brace yourselves and buckle up, because I'm gonna have about a minute or two of sounding like a hypocrite. I was wrong about the Cold War Zombies super Easter egg in this instance of the UGR. Just when it comes to the unlock challenge and making it that much easier. For the rest of zombies, I don't see a purple tier being useful at all, especially if you're using the rage inducer to fly through rounds. And speaking of the dark Aether camo grind for this weapon, the rage inducer on Firebase and D-Machine makes the camo challenges so much easier. So if you're looking for a reason to go back to zombies and you don't have dark Aether unlocked, or even if it's just not unlocked on a couple DLC weapons, this will give you the motivation to. I personally had a lot of fun for the hour I was playing zombies unlocking this weapon, but once again, as I completed the camo challenges, I didn't really have much need or want to play zombies, so I just went to multiplayer, did DM Ultra, got my nuke, and that's all she wrote. Other than that though, I really like having new weapons being added into old games. I was a fan when the Psychovs, the CX-9, and the RAL were added into Modern Warfare during Cold War's life cycle. I also had a lot of fun grinding the Vargo and now the UGR, and I hope they do this in the future as well. I'm sure I'll say right now, oh, I hope they don't add new guns to Vanguard once Modern Warfare 2 is out, but in the instance that they do, I'll probably have a lot of fun going back and grinding them as well. And this is where I'm going to sound like a little bit of a hypocrite. If you guys watched yesterday's video, I talked about how I don't like them spreading content thin between games, where there's a little bit in Vanguard and then a little bit in Cold War. But for the instance of DLC weapons being added to the game, I don't mind it, because it's a fun, for me, couple hour grind, and for an average Call of Duty player, probably a day or two grind. I'm just not a huge fan of Treyarch bringing back WMD and now Jungle into the game. I don't understand why they have to remaster these maps over and over again. I talked about this a while ago as well, but I don't understand still why in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and Cold War, Treyarch copied the same 3 maps into each different game. It's Nuketown's a little bit different because they do Nuketown differently every single time they put that into the game. But it's very weird to have the same content over and over again when it seems like it was literally copied and pasted, which isn't the most enjoyable experience to have as a player. Sure, there's going to be some people that really enjoy those maps, but even for those map enjoyers, they're eventually going to get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. And that's what I'm talking about when I say don't spread your content too thin. They spent so much time copying and pasting these maps into these games that they didn't develop brand new interesting content when the game actually needed it during the off seasons in the summer last year. It's frustrating being the consumer and seeing some less than ideal practices from the dev studios, or maybe from Activision themselves, and it's not really the dev studio's fault. Regardless of whose fault it is though, it's agonizing to have games launch in less than ideal states, being extremely buggy and glitchy, and then when the game finally becomes stable, not having a lot of content to enjoy in the first place. And I think that's what's ruining Call of Duty within the past couple of years. I want to go more in depth with that topic, but that's going to be a video within the next couple of days here. New gun, awesome. New gamer subs flavor, awesome. I'm not allowed to say exactly what the flavor is, but I'll try and give you guys the flavor without directly saying it. There's already a pre-existing lemonade flavor, but there's a brand new lemonade flavor coming out for this summer. I'm pretty sure that gives you all you need to know. Use code WILD, save 10% off, and it helps support the channel. Also, the new peach tea flavor is officially out, and there's a bunch of new shaker cups on the website that are officially licensed with a bunch of anime and gaming franchises. Let's get back on topic with the UGR. Take this with a grain of salt because I haven't been playing Cold War that frequently, so I can't accurately compare the UGR to the rest of the SMGs, but it feels extremely similar to the AK-74U, which is the meta SMG in the game. But when you throw explosive rounds in the UGR, it feels like a better version of the AK because it has higher damage output. So it's extremely good close range. The only downside to this gun is getting used to the projectile velocity of the rounds you shoot. It's somewhere in between the 74U and the nail gun. I trust you guys will learn through experience, and the gun's extremely easy to complete the camo challenges on. There's no discussion to be had with zombies camo grinding. It's extremely straightforward, but when you go to multiplayer, playing face-off 6v6 as always, fast-paced games, extremely good for SMGs. The only challenge that is difficult is long shots, and I just went into hardcore, threw on explosive rounds, and then completed the challenge. Hardcore Dom is where I did most of the long shot grind, but you can do it in any of your favorite playlists or game modes. I mean, if you want to do it in core, you can sit there and torture yourself. It's extremely straightforward, especially if you're well versed in camo grinds. I haven't used it in Warzone yet, and I think that's one of the next things I'm going to do.